Balancing the canoe, to me, I think is the highest level of voyaging. It's the highest level of navigation. It's really the balancing the vehicle with the natural world. And you can't do that if you don't understand that natural world. The canoe has certain characteristics, and so it captures wind with these big sails. And we have 3 sails. You put more pressure in the front sails, and it'll turn it downwind. You put more pressure in the back sails, it turns it. So you're actually steering the canoe without a sweep. And the other piece is changing weight.
We just opened our mizzen sail. Pressure on the back of the canoe via the mizzen sail is going to cause it to turn upwards into the wind, generally speaking. If we have weight back here, the weight acts as a pivot point for the canoe. So if you have too much weight towards the back, it will fight against what we're trying to accomplish with the mizzen sail. So if you think about it like a door, we are putting weight all towards the forward part of the canoe to sort of make that the hinge of the door and allowing the wind and torque to put pressure on the back sail to allow it to drive itself up into the wind so that we don't have to steer it with the Hōkūle'a.
The navigator needs to know what's the line that they want to sail. They need to know the natural environment and where the forces are coming from. And then they need to go set the course and balance these sails.
If you have really consistent conditions, it works a lot better. If you're constantly getting squalls and variable weather, you'll probably need to get the hoy out more regularly. Of course, if you're navigating, you like the hoy to be not in the water because it tends to keep a much more consistent direction over all the different steersmen, because we'll have 9 different people steering throughout the day, all with slightly different deviations and strategies, and overall it does take a lot more attention to make sure that that's on course, especially when we don't have good navigational markers. So you can set a good direction and trim against the wind and a known navigational point, like the sun over there. You make the job a lot easier for yourself.
Behind balancing is you got to know and trust the natural world will show you the way. You got to know and trust that this canoe, when it goes down to Tahiti and comes back, it'll be the 14th and the 15th time that it crossed Keala Kahiki. It may be the canoe that made the most sails. You got to trust that this canoe knows this road. And then you got to trust your teachers. Everything that about balancing was taught to you, and we had to figure it over. It took us decades and decades, and we're still learning it. And then you got to trust each other. And then you got to trust yourself.